to see you again. Well, now you're here, we might as well get on with it. This is what's coming up in today's show. Look out for a brilliant way to get a brilliant view. And how to make a model that will really help you with your drawing. Plus, this big art attack is a real winner. Now, is this stunning or what? Isn't it fantastic? It's a traditional Japanese screen. Now, they've been making these in Japan for over 1,000 years, and they use them to create private areas in a room. But I just think they're fantastic pieces of art. And you know what? It's inspired me to make an Art Attack mini version. Look at this. Cool, eh? And simple to make in 4 easy parts. A 4-part attack. For the first part, take an A3 piece of brown wrapping paper and fold it in half. And when you've done that, fold it in half again. And then open it out so that you can see the fold lines. Stick the paper down onto some stiff card, as you'll need it to be able to stand up later on. Just line it up. And when it's firmly stuck down, go over those dividing lines with a pencil. And then draw a border around the edge of the paper, about 1 centimetre in from the edge. Next, you need to decide what design you want to put onto your screen. Now, you can find traditional Japanese images to copy in books or even on the internet, or you could just make one up like me. How about starting with a background of lots of white blocks so that you get a sort of panelled effect? Now, they don't have to be perfect, just get them roughly the same size. And I'm using a nice flat brush with an acrylic paint for this. You can even neaten them up later if you like. And then paint the border black. And when you finish, you'll have something that looks like this. And as you can see, I've made all those white panels really neat by going round them with black pen. So okay, that's the background. Now you can paint on your Japanese design. This is going to be a Japanese style tree. Now I'm using black acrylic paint for this and a smaller flat brush for the main part of the tree. Whatever you design, try and spread it over all 4 sections of your picture. And use slightly smaller brushes for the more delicate branches. Now this is really beginning to take shape. Yep, that looks pretty good. And when you've done the branches, you can add some tiny red flowers here and maybe there. In fact, dot them all over your branches. And to finish it off, how about adding some white centres, just little dots there in the centre of the flowers. And if you keep it nice and simple, using just 2 or 3 colours, it looks really bold and stylised. So now you need to turn your picture into a screen. Carefully cut your picture along the dividing lines so that you've got 4 separate panels. Then lay them onto a piece of coloured paper that's slightly larger than your painting. Leave a small gap between each panel, but try to line them up at the top and bottom. And when you're happy with their position, glue them down. You can mark the position first if you want to. Then finally trim off any excess paper around the edge of the panels. And again, do this very carefully. And there it is, a flexible Japanese screen that stands up as a lovely piece of art. And when you angle these panels, the paper behind keeps them all together. And you can position it just like a real screen. And you can do any Japanese design you like. How about a traditional Japanese landscape? Or these birds with the rising sun? And of course, a traditional Japanese crashing wave. Try it yourself. Miniature Japanese panel pictures. What have a sports vest, a pair of running spikes, and a length of tape got in common? Answer? A big heart attack. Look at this picture. Now, I'm not too happy with it. It's a bit flat. These footballs are too front on. They should be turned a bit to face each other. And you know, that's a common problem. Sometimes when we draw, it's a bit too front on. Everything gets stiff and flat and facing the front. So, okay, how do you turn things a bit to make different angles, to create different views, and to make your pictures look a bit more realistic? Not easy, is it? Well, that's where this stuff comes in. Ordinary modelling clay. Now, the idea is to make a simple model of whatever you want to turn. Now, I want to make a person, so just roll a ball for a head, and then you need a bigger ball for a body, and you need two sausagey legs, like that, and just bend them a bit, the end for feet, and then two sausagey arms, like that, and then put them together to make a rough model person. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a rough guide. And there you have a model that you can bend into any shape and place into any angle. Look at that, up he goes, and press him down and he stands up. So now you don't have to draw something front on, just make a model and turn it. Then use the model and copy the shapes. It's just those rough shapes that you want. You don't have to put any detail on at this point. Just get the shapes right. And there you have the shape of a person from a different angle that's not boring and front on. And then just use those rough shapes to add on the detail when you've got that main pose. So just put his hand in there and the rest of his kit, and of course the bowl. And there he is. Good, eh? So no more boring front-on pictures. And you can do any shape you like, just make your model and turn it. And you can also do animals. How about this model dog? There he is. And then just turn it to the position you want and copy it. And it's just a case of looking really closely at your model and copying all the bits and shapes exactly. See that? There's the body and legs. And don't forget the shape of the tail. And when you've finished, just scrunch up your clay and make another model. And then just simply turn him into any position you want and copy him. And again, just copy the shapes. Now, the elephant's from a different angle this time, so just copy exactly what you see. And when you've finished your rough guides and you're happy with the angles, add on your detail. And all of these pictures were done in the same way. There's my footballer, and my little doggy, and there's the elephant. Try it yourself. Don't just draw things front on, draw them from different angles, and to help you, make a model and turn it. Me? Computer? Me? It must be that time. Time to look at some of your work in the Art Attack Gallery, and it's brilliant. Now, this is a lovely sparkly art attack by Phoebe. She's made these two tropical fish using pieces of torn up tissue paper and added on details like their gills using glitter and sequins. And here's a dramatic picture by Olivia. She painted a tall ship on a very stormy sea. I love the huge fiery sun in the background. It really contrasts with the grey ferocious waves. Fantastic. And I love any art attack that uses recycled materials, and Chloe's collage has done just that. She's made a flower out of old newspaper cuttings. Brilliant. Yeah, great newspaper collage there from Chloe. Do you know what? I get through loads of newspaper on Art Attack. It's such a versatile art material. And the one thing I like to use it for, most of all, is papier-mâché. It makes all your models really solid. But there's just one problem with it. You can never tell where one layer ends and another one begins. You're not sure if you've done an even layer all over your model or if you've been working on one area too much and left another area too thin. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I've got a good little trick to show you. Watch this. Take this balloon that I've been working on, for example. I'm just finishing the first layer here in newspaper. But instead of starting another layer in newspaper, this time I'm going to switch to torn pieces of kitchen paper, because this way I'll be able to see which bits of the balloon I've already worked on and give myself a nice even second layer. Now, when I've gone over the whole thing in a layer of kitchen paper, I'll switch back to the newspaper. And you can keep going like that, swapping between newspaper and kitchen paper until you think you've done enough layers and you'll know they'll be even. Good, eh? So, OK, where were we? Oh, yes, nice one, Chloe. Now, this is a brilliant art attack by Hebe. She's actually made a placemat by painting a funky abstract design, filling the spaces with colour, and then covering it in plastic to protect it. Brilliant! And Evie's delicate painting shows the silhouettes of yachts moored in a harbour. The sunset gives it a feeling of tranquility, especially with the lights sparkling in the distance. And this is a fun-looking house, Sophie. The vivid colours you've used give it a real Mediterranean feel. I'd quite like to live somewhere like that. And this is a fab picture by Jane. I love the material curtains you've stuck on, as they really draw your attention to the strange goings-on through the window. Whoa, what's going on there, Jane? That's a different view from the window. Good art attack, though. And you know what? It's inspired me to think about a view from a window with a difference. An aeroplane window. Check this out. First, you're going to need to cut out 2 large, flattish oval shapes from cardboard box card. And on one of the ovals, draw an inner oval about 4 centimetres in from the edge. And on the second oval, draw an inner oval, this time about 1.5 centimetres in from the edge. Then cut these middle sections out and put them to one side, and you should now have 2 loops. And the idea is to glue the thinner one on top of the other one. So I'm going to put some glue on quickly to show you. You can put lots of glue on, make it nice and firm, and pop it on there like that. And there you have the frame of your plane window. Now, to create the shutter for the window, use the leftover card from the second card oval, snip off the end, and there you should have a perfect fit. Look at that. And to make it look more like a shutter, add on another piece of card to make it look more 3D. So that goes on there. And even a little handle on there like that. And when everything's firmly stuck down with lots of glue, paint it a creamy white with some grey shading, and it looks like that. See the grey shading I've done down there? There you have one airplane window. But now you need a view, and for that you're going to need some sticky back plastic and tissue paper in shades of blue. And here's what you do. Cut a piece of the sticky back plastic that's a bit bigger than your frame and lay it face down so that when you peel off the backing, it's sticky side up. And just be careful with it because it is sticky. Then cut out cloud shapes from your tissue paper and place them onto the sticky back plastic, overlapping them and positioning them evenly. Go over the whole of your sheet in this way, making sure that you put different shades next to each other. Then carefully lay another sheet of sticky back plastic over the first one, trapping the clouds, and flatten it out so there are no air bubbles or creases. Then place your frame on top of your plastic cloud sheet and draw around it. Cut it out slightly within the line and it'll fit neatly onto the back of your frame. Then just tape it into place. Now, I know it's not much of a view at the moment, but if you find a picture of an airplane and then trace or copy it onto some black paper like this, so it looks like a silhouette, then you can stick it onto the back of your frame. Just pop some glue on there and on it goes. And you could also cut out a silhouette of a city skyline to fit the bottom of your frame and glue that on as well. So on that goes, and put it to the bottom, there like that. Now, I know it still doesn't look like much of a view, but just hang on a minute. If you stand it on your windowsill or ask an adult to carefully sticky tack it onto your window, look what happens. That silhouette really shines out and the light shines through the clouds. Good effect, isn't it? Just like you're looking out from an airplane. Or how about this one? This has been made in the same way, but this time a circular frame makes it look like you're looking out of a porthole in a submarine. Try it yourself. Create an interesting view with a lookout. And I will see you next time. Ta-ra.
All right. Yeah! We're just playing with the grand prize right here for the Royals Outdoor Safety Contest.
Totally amazing. You can win by taking the quiz at tvokids.com.
That's right. Yeah! Speaking of which, I want